I have recorded. So next week will be our last week of formal classes, but we will not be holding formal lectures anymore. But I will be around, no, during our schedule for consultation purposes. No, I would like to allot this for you to finish your PA4, which is due on the 20th. Okay, everyone. No, so it's 20th. So I'll be around online. I'll be online, no, for consultation. So you will use this to finish PA4. Okay. So anyway,
sir.
yes.
Will you discuss today yung SA details, sir, and also on when it is scheduled?
Kasi I received an email from from the registrar that we are supposed to pass the grades soonest, no? So I'm really thinking of using the PA4 to be your summative assessment at the same time.
I see, sir.
So okay kaya sa inyo yun? Kasi if I'm going to have another I will have a lot to check, especially with my other classes. Meron din akong PA doon, and checking programs will take a very long time. Especially this one which we are going to do in Visual Studio Code. So isa-isahin ko yan, And there's another class which also is going to pass a PA like you. So I may not finish in 1 week if I will have another exam, okay? However, may I warn everyone that those who do not pass PA4 will have a hard time passing that, because I will use it as part of your summative assessment. It will cover everything that we have covered since the first formative assessment. Okay, from jQuery, di ba? Kasali dito.
Yes, sir.
So kasali dito from jQuery to Express.js. Okay? So wala na lang tayong summative assessment. Okay, everyone? I'll email you formally. So this PA4 will count as your summative assessment. Okay? Okay, so you
Yes,
do
sir.
well on this, okay? So
since SA na naman namin siya, sir, same pa rin yung deadline or i-move mo siya, sir?
sige, tingnan na lang natin, Basta hindi rin ako maipit sa sa submission ng grades. Okay? Have you started it already? Anyway, I can still move it a few more days, but I don't like to do it now. I'd like you to start it already, Okay? So before I'd like to show you how to reuse the code. I'm not going to post the guide, but I have made a guide on how to reuse the code, the sample code. You of course you can write your own code, to create other modules, because it was a code that I borrowed, which I redesigned so that it will be easy to, it's modular, end-to-end modularity, so that it will be easy to customize it for other purposes, like make CRUDS of other types of entities like teachers, subjects, inventory items, because CRUDS is always a part of any project, database project, especially those involving e-commerce activities. So CRUDS will always be there. So I'll show you how to use the code in order to create other modules for other purposes. That will be the last topic which I'm going. So it will help you. It will help you create apply the code for other purposes. Okay? Will you follow? But before that, this is our final formal meeting. I'd like you to I'd like to inform you regarding the future of full stack development, because I've been browsing since last week. Currently, if you look at online jobs and toptal.com and turing.com, they're the hiring jobs site. The most in demand IT job currently is full stack development. If you search job seeker and search full stack development, take note, no? This is a very promising field, no? For you to develop, because there's not only there's a very lucrative career waiting, no? If you look at the online jobs.ph, okay, and search for full stack development. So ang laki ng mga sahod, no? Full stack developer this is a little bit low, no? $600 to $800. $800 is about 40,000. Full stack development with React, with React Node, with AWS. AWS is a cloud that offers Node. So anyway, it's just a hosting service, no? So what they would like to require is for you to know how to deploy your application in AWS, which is not difficult. If I were you, if you're interested in this, you could buy an AWS account, or you can start with I think there's a free account, no? And then try uploading your Node applications there. No, you can install Node there. No, you can install MySQL at AWS, Amazon Web Services, also in Azure. Now, take a look. This is very early, no? This is very recent. March 20, it offers 100,000 a month. No? Full stack developer home base, 70,000 lang. No? And what do they need? Usually, this will involve JavaScript and Node and Express. No? So PHP, well, PHP, no, you should be able to do that on your own. No? REST APIs, data handling using JSON, agile experience preferred, but ang basic needs will be JavaScript, jQuery, HTML, SCSS, no, SAS, WordPress. It's easy to learn. It's not a problem for any CS student. And there's an urgent need for C#. Okay, so it's a good thing to also study ASP.NET Core because it's also being in demand. Full stack developer, 80,000 to 160,000. That's March 9. I think this is still open, so it needs React, Node.js. No? What are the details? No? So develop high quality software. No? Experience it. React.js and Node, as well as other similar technologies such as Express.js and their core principles. Okay. So konti na lang ko lang. You can learn React in a month. No? Slow pace. React is a client web framework. In contrast to Express.js, React is used to design client interfaces. No? So single page programming work like it's not always popular. No? Usually e-commerce doesn't require React because React is used mostly for blogging. No? Single page programming like Instagram, Facebook, no? Twitter, mga blogging sites. So full stack developer for core PHP, I think this will require Laravel. Hindi naman sinabi ko magkano. 50,000 to 70,000. Full stack developer. What's the requirement? WordPress, JavaScript. WordPress, no? WordPress is easy. So kaya niya ito. No? Full stack developer requires JavaScript, MySQL, and web development. No? So mostly web, JavaScript, and PHP. No? And even, by the way, no? Express.js. No? JavaScript, Angular, MySQL. No? Angular is like React. No? Okay. So full stack development is a very important, nice career, no, to develop because it's very much in demand and it demands a higher paying, usually the highest paying jobs. No, $1,000 a month. That's 50,000 for a full stack developer. Okay, C#, no, Python. You can learn that on your own. Full stack developer again, UK based. Doesn't specify the requirements, but
Sir,
so
pwede sir.
yes.
Ano yung kaibahan ng PHP sa MySQL na PHP is used naman din, di ba, to access yung mga SQL na databases?
Yeah, PHP is the original backend development environment. It's like Node, di ba? Dati walang ibang back-end development, PHP lang. Do you follow?
Okay. Yes, pa, sir.
So, usually during those times when you develop a web application, you develop the front end using HTML and CSS. The back end is developed in PHP. PHP is like C#, no? Ang syntax ng PHP is like C#. It's actually developed patterned after Perl scripting. Galing sa Perl, galing din siya sa Ruby on Rails, no? This was the original. It's still good to study PHP, but somehow, no, PHP is there's still a wide market for PHP because of the length of time, no, that it was used. Pero ngayon, PHP is being invaded by JavaScript because both front end and back end are now ripe for JavaScript. Unlike before, you will have PHP script on the back end and JavaScript on the front end. So medyo magulo, no? Nowadays, you will have JavaScript on the back end using Express and Node, and you have JavaScript on the front end. So full stack development, no? So there's a wide future in this, no? There's a big future to this career, no? So in your case, no, you will need to study React. You will need to study sessions, passport for logging in and logging out, JS reports, no, for creating reports, no, printing, and then React. Then you're good to go, no? Pwede ka na mag-apply dito. It's the most important thing is to gather sample codes, develop your own sample codes, no? So the sample codes that you can grab in YouTube, you develop them, tailor fit them, no? Change them, improve them, okay? So that during the interview, you'll have something to present. Okay? We follow ang laki ng sahod, no? 80,000, no? 70,000 to 120. Full stack development, no? So in your case, it's still time to develop, no? On this along this side, no? Along this area. Okay? So it's not just because we want to get grades here, no? It's a good time to start a career, no? Especially when you're still in college. No? So anyway, I have if you look at our site, have you downloaded? Can you if you intend to use the code I have used I have shown as an example, no? You please download it again because I've uploaded a recent, no? Do you follow? And here's a guide, no? Kasi modular ito end to end. Ibig sabihin, from the client to the end, you can reuse the module, okay? So let me delete because I've deleted I've created I've created a table before, so let's drop table. Okay, so I'm going to show you a pattern because when you create code, no, in JavaScript or in C#, you should not just develop the code so it runs, no. You have to think of the future when you can reuse the code. Usually, when you are starting a project, no, the first project is not profitable because you will do you spend a lot of effort, no, a lot of time. Usually, you can get profit the second time around when you are able to reuse, no, components of your other projects, no. Of your previous project. So that's what I'm trying to show here, no. How do you use an existing CRUDS to develop another one? Okay. For example, we have a CRUDS for users. Can we possibly use it to develop a CRUDS for teachers? So it's important that from the start, no, you develop your code so that you can reuse it, no, reusability. Here's a simple guide. I'm not going to post this because I'd like you to figure this out, no. First, you create a database table like teachers, no, as specified in our Dagler site. Then you copy the JavaScript and customize it, no. So if you have user client JS, you create another JavaScript called teacher client, no. .js and customize it. It's easy to customize. I'll show you how to do that. No? Create the teacher route, yung teacher.js from user.js. Create the teacher controller, no? From the same controller. No? You just recustomize it. And then create and customize all views and partials. And then use the new route in app.js, which is your main application. Do you follow? No? So let's do that. No? So for example, I want to create teachers. The first thing to do is to create teachers. No? So anyway, there's a script here. No? Pwede natin itong gamitin. No? Which you can copy. And then let's create it in the back end. Okay. Teachers, according to the requirement, no? You should have teacher ID. And then you will have teacher first name. It should be, what is it, 50? And then you should have teacher last name, worker 50. Tanggalin lang natin yung mga not null, no? And set it back, no? You can copy it back if you like, but it makes it difficult for testing if you have a not null, okay? Teacher middle name. Okay, diba ganun? So, Express.js is a platform which is data first. Ang tawag dyan, data first, which means that you create the data first before coding. Okay, unlike ASP.NET and Django where you do code first. Okay, so kaya you have to create the data first here. Create table not null auto increment. You have an error. Let's find out where the error is. Okay, ito na. Auto increment not null. Teachers, teacher ID, int, not null auto increment. Okay. Var car. Where's the wrong? The error. Ito, walang kama. No, no kama. Okay. It's good to divide this into separate lines. And then we execute. Meron pa rin kulang, no? Auto increment, teacher first name is worker 50. This is teacher middle name, worker 50. Primary key. Anong kulang? Teacher last name. Teacher last name. What's wrong with this? Ito pala. Ito. Kulang. Okay. Column ID does not exist in the table. Okay. So we have to say teacher ID. So, ayan, no? It's that the table is now created. Okay. You can save this. It's good to save this. Save script as. No, I think meron na ito, no? Teachers. Create teachers. So that we can reuse this for create students. Sorry, it should be create teachers. No? Create. Okay. Okay. We follow. So we now have a teacher table, and then the next thing to do is where's my close command. I have to close other. The client JavaScript. Okay, so the client JavaScript which we have. Maybe I could close this already. So we start with the client JavaScript because we start from the client, no? So we copy this, and then paste it here, the same, and then we rename this as teacher client. This is our client, no? JavaScript. Nagawa tayo ng CRUDS ng teacher. Okay? That's what we are going to do. So we have a view record. We have a show record to delete. Then we have delete record. We have show record to edit. And we have this is the submit function for the edit. No? Do you follow? Okay. Okay. So this is now ready, no? Ito lang ang iba, no? Because I have renamed it edit record form so that you don't have to rename it. So this is different because we'll say teacher ID. No? First name and then last name. Teacher ito. Okay. Teacher L name. Teacher M name. No? You can use this is just variables. Okay. So we pattern this from our teacher database. Okay. This is now teachers. No? We'll have a URL. Teachers. Date record. You will pass these variables. Teacher ID. Teacher. You just have to copy the word. So the naming is also significant because it's much easier to copy, no? Ano bang tawag dito? M name? Yes. Teacher M name. Bakit may error? May shade. M name is middle name. Okay. Teacher M name. And then we delete the rest. That's we pass, no? That's what we pass. Ito lang na ang importante yung pag-edit, okay? And then the modal will just open by itself. Okay, and then we save this. We now have a client. I've done this in ASP.NET, no? That's why I know how to do this, no? Because I've done this before. Okay, so we have done the second, no? Then we create the teacher route. Okay, so we create the teacher route. We copy this. We paste. We rename. This is now teacher.js. No? So you know where to find the routes, right? We just came in Book. So you know that the routes are in this folder, no? So anyway, we have to rename this now. For example, we cannot rename this. We'll have to change this variable. Kasi router yung user, so router T for router teachers, router ST for students, SU for subjects. Okay, is that okay? No. So we'll say teacher controller. Okay. Controllers, teacher controller. Okay. And then of course, babaguhin natin ito, no? From teacher to user, from user to teacher. I have uploaded a clean code so that it will be easy to customize. No? But you have to understand how the code works. Otherwise, you could not do this. No? You have to understand the concept of routing, no? Concept of views, no? Partials. No? Okay na yung mga routes, no? You don't have to rename them anymore because I have named them in such a way that they are usable. So naming for variables and functions is important here. Router T. Do you follow? No? I-export sa atin yung router T. Router T na ito siya, no? It's not router because we already have a router which is for the router for students. Okay. So that's the next thing to do is to create the teacher route. Now the second to do, the next is create the teacher controller. Okay. So ang teacher controller nandito. Okay, we copy this. So it's a good thing that you start modular from the beginning, no? You start with a modular code so that you can reuse it easily in the future, no? Para kita ka naman. Okay? So it's the same thing. Walang babaguhin dito, no? Then the show records. So we are going to change the select statements, no? Instead of select star from user, we'll say select star from first, no? Tanggalin natin itong where status. Okay. You can have order by, no, if you like. Okay. Remove record. Dapat remove record ito. Yan lang. Hindi ko pa na ano, no? Record. Now, instead of show users, this is now show teachers. We are going to recreate the views, no? And then the JScript, take note, teacher client, no? So that it will also point to the correct JavaScript client, no? Do you follow? We'll run this and find out what will be the effect of using a JavaScript variable to point to our JavaScript file. Okay. Fine. Select star from teachers. Where teacher first name. Okay. Teacher last name. Okay. So the form, say add teacher. Let's say we'll have an add teacher parcel. Ito, no, and it's not a parcel, but it's really a main form. No? Itong add user will transform this, copy this into add teacher. Okay. So this will now change. Add new record. Anyway, it's just done. First name, last name. Insert into teachers. Copy this. Teacher first name, diba? These are the actual fields from our table. Okay. And then we don't have comments anymore, but we have middle name. We don't have this. We have teacher middle name. Okay. Then first name, last name. These are the fields. Okay. Remember that this is passed by the request.body during the get. Okay. So we don't need forms here because there's a post. No? There's a post. No? If you look at the teacher, the client, no? Teacher client, there's an add record. I don't know. This is submitted from the form, no? Wala tayong, we don't have an Ajax here. We don't need the Ajax anyway, no? Okay. Okay. So instead of user client, this is okay. Kasi iba na yung these points are different JavaScript. Okay na itong UID, no? We don't have to change that anymore. Where teacher ID. Okay. How about in the others? Wala pa tayong problema doon. So instead of edit teacher, this will now be edit. So you can copy and you just control QA, no? Change user to teacher, but I'm just showing this so you can see the parts that need to be changed. Okay, and how they're going to be changed. Okay. So, okay, ano bang, how did we, the update record, do we have to look at our teacher client and look at the update record? Ito pala, no? Ito yung submit ng update record. So we have teacher ID, teacher F name, teacher L name, teacher M name, and this is, ano, ito yung, ano, pagka-pass. Do you follow? Do you follow? So, when we go to our controller, we have to follow. Okay, we have to follow the variables there. Okay, kasi ito nga yung, this is the where it was updated. Oh. It's going to call this ID first name teacher, no? Okay, that's the client side, and this will be the receiving side. Okay, okay, this will be the receiving side. If we don't have errors, no? It's easy. It's not easy as in C#, no? Because we don't have a debugger. So to debug, you just use the comments, no? And then, no. How is it named? F name, L name, M name. F name, M name. L name, M name. Sorry, no? Okay. So ang M name ano na, brighten up because it's already being used. Okay. I hope you understand the code, no? Okay. So this is now select star from teacher. Where teacher ID. How about the update? Did we have the right, ano? Sometimes we could have mali ang ano, where teacher ID. Then there should only be one question mark here. Okay. Si teacher ID na yun. The primary key being used is now teacher ID. Okay. Show record to delete from teachers. Okay. So this will be delete teacher. This will be teacher client. Tayong error sa taas. This will be the actual delete. Okay. And then this will also remarks ito. So ito na. From teachers. By the way, teachers, no? We just review that again, no? Select star from teachers because we had an S, no? In the table. Okay, so let's review that again. Let's save this first. Select delete from teachers. Select star from teachers. Okay. Delete from teachers. Select star from teachers. Update teachers. That's correct now. So let's start from teachers. Insert into teachers. Okay. I think that's fine now. So that's the second. That's the fourth step. We have created a teacher controller. Create and customize all views and parcels. We will start with the show users, okay, so that we can start running it. Okay. So dito sa ano ngayon, we will copy the partial show users. Okay. So, mali yung napuntahan niya. Tag natin dito. Cancel. Delete na lang natin, no? Okay. Kasi mali yung napuntahan. Mali yung pagka-copy, no? Dapat dito sa views. Dito tayo mag-paste. Okay, so now we rename this as show teachers. Any questions so far? Okay. So user management system, nandun pa rin yun, no? It's there. And then this is now teachers. Add record. Should be that, no? And then this is now add teacher. Okay. Remove the record. Record na ito, di ba? In our it's in our route. I think it's in our user controller. It's here. There's an alert of remove user, which will change to remove teacher. No, it's in the sit in the show. Ito, no, removed user in the show records. Dapat i-close natin itong user controller. Because this is we may make a mistake, no? Baka ma-damage natin ngayon yung ano. Close muna natin ito, no? Okay, dito tayo sa teacher controller. Remove record, that's where it is, no? We follow. So, baka ma-damage yung users. So, we make sure it's closed, no? Itong ano, show teachers is closed, show users is closed. Okay. Show teachers muna tayo, no? Dito. Okay. This is the remove record alert. So, first name, last name, middle name. Remove this. So let's look at our controller, no? When we render the show all teachers in our controller, we have a show all, so that we'll know the names, no, of the variables. Okay. So ano lang, no? So this is in the show records. This will show the teachers, no? We will just use the field names. This teacher ID, this first name, teacher first name. Then we'll have this teacher middle name. We don't have a phone, so we'll remove this TD. And then the view record will now be on the teacher's route. Dapat magbago na ito. It's not user's route, but teacher's route. Teachers. Display teacher. Edit. View. So the show record to delete will be this. The route will also change. This is the URL. Remember, no? Okay. Now before we test the add view, we can now test this, no? Test muna natin yung show. Okay. So before we go to the next step, which is to add the teacher route. Add the new route in app.js so that we can show test if this runs already, no? Okay. Okay. So we'll just copy this. We'll just copy the existing route. So ito user route. So we'll just copy this. Teacher routes teachers. Teacher ba? Yes, teacher. And then the route itself will be up use ito teachers na ito. Meron na tayong route, di ba? Okay, we already have a route and we have named it route T. Okay. Okay. So let's run this. Now if there's an error, we'll have to track the error. So router.get teacher controller show records. Paminsan we cannot get this, but it's clear here, no, that it's in get teacher controller show records. Okay, so it's in the teacher route teacher controller show records. Okay, teacher controller. Now this is not router but router T. Router T, no. Say teacher na nga ito, no. Dapat rename na, should have renamed this router teacher. Masyado, but that's too long. Okay. 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 Let's run this partially. Okay. Hindi pala nalagay natin, no. We haven't placed it here. Hindi pa natin nalagay sa nav. Okay. So we'll have to edit our header dito, no? Kasi teachers will have what's the route, what's the link? / teachers, okay? Doesn't matter, di yata capital, pwede hindi capital, no? It's not case sensitive. Okay, so let's run it again. We follow, so teachers, ayan, okay. We follow, wala pa tayong action, we'll find out why, no? Kasi wala pa tayong na-add. Let's add teacher, no? We haven't fixed this yet. But anyway, we have a running retrieve, no? So you can go to user management, you can go to teachers, no? Mali pa yung ating title o user management pa rin. Okay? So it's in our show users, show teachers, no? this should be teacher management, no? Now, we'll have the functionalities. Irara natin one by one, okay? First, we look at the we look at the add, okay? So here's the add button. The add button is not does not have Ajax because it doesn't show the route anyway, no? So hindi kailangan mag-Ajax dito, no? Okay. Ito yung add button, no? Teachers add record. Teacher, here's the route. Teachers add record. So we look at the route under teachers. We'll have add record, no? So we have to show the get first. Okay? Ang get muna. So we'll go to the controller. Okay. What's the route? We're trying to get the add record form, no? Form. So we'll go to form. So wala tayong add teacher na view. Okay? So the add teacher view will just copy from the add user. And then under views, dito sa views we paste. Make sure we don't have add user. So, add teacher lang. Kasi baka magkamali tayo ng edit, no? So, teachers. This new teacher. Okay, anong oras na ba? Malayo pa tayo, no? Follow. So this the route here now is teachers. Post. This is a post route, no? This the web page we're editing is the response to the get route, no? Ang post will be done when the method is submitted. Rather, the form is submitted. Okay. Okay. So ang i-render na dito is teacher form. Okay. We'll render a teacher form. Okay, so where do we get the teacher form? It's a partial. Okay, so we'll also use the user form. Ito. Dito sa partial din natin siya i-paste. We paste it from here now. So anyway, field names ito. So this is teacher ID. Okay. Teacher ID. Okay, because when we submit the form, if you look at the client script, teacher client, here's the submission. Okay, we are looking for teacher ID, teacher name. So this should be the names, okay, of our teacher form. So this should be teacher ID. Questions? No? This is teacher first name. Just copy this. And this is teacher first name. First name ba? Let's look at the teacher client. First name, teacher ID, first name, middle name. Okay. First name, teacher ID, first name, and then this is, save muna natin. This is teacher last name. And last name is the name of the input. We'll remove the comment, the phone and the comment. This removes the phone and the comment. Okay. And the email, we'll just copy the, we'll remove the email. Let's say it's type email. No validation ito, no? So you take charge of the, you can do it in the client side using jQuery. No? This is the field name here. And this is the input name. Okay. Question so far. So add teacher ito, no? So this is the get route. Okay, so this is what it's called, no? No, we don't have an Ajax here, so it's directly taken here, no? In the route, no? So ito yung add teacher, add record. Ito yung teacher.form. Okay, so sa teacher.form we are going to render add teacher. Now in the route for the post, this is the post route when the teacher is being submitted, no? So okay. This is the route, no? Do you follow? We have first name, last name, middle name, rect that body. So ito na yung ilan niya. Okay, can we try this? So we just have created the insert. Okay, so maswerte tayo, no? Walang error. So we can just refresh this. Let's go to user and then teachers. Let's click add. Ayan na. Test. Submit. Okay, so it's our post route, no? Post route ang may error, no? Okay. So the thing to do here is to add alert in our post route. Okay. Nag-error na siya dito. Okay. First name is not defined. Okay. It's in the post route. Okay. Let's look at the post route. Let's change this first. So teacher controller in the post route, which is create. Anong sabi doon? First name is not defined. So it should not be add user. Baka nagkamali tayo, no? Now, this is the teacher controller. This should be add teacher. Do we have add teacher already? Yes. So let's look at the okay, rect that body. Okay. Kasi this has something to do with the submission of the add teacher of the teacher form, no? Ito yun. Okay. First name. Okay. First name, last name. Okay. First name, last name, middle name. Okay. So baka kailangan natin gamitin ito because these are the names, no? The names of the inputs, which will also be the name of the variables. Okay. So, mali na ito, no? Dito yung mali. Anyway, na-change ko na. Okay? Na-change ko yung variable name, so this should also correct it, no? Okay. Let's refresh. Let's add teacher. Okay. Did we save? Okay. Now the only way to check this is to make a console.log. Anyway, nag-error na rin siya dito, no? Middle name is not defined. Okay. Middle name underscore. It's not defined. So middle name na lang. Why is that? Kasi mali yung spelling ng ating middle name. Okay. There's slight error. Okay. So sometimes you have to comment, no? You comment out your suspected lines, but fortunately, hindi natin kailangan dito, no? Now it's added. Let's check. Go to teacher management. Nandiyan na si test. Do you follow? Now we've done add teacher. Let's look at view. So wala. View does not click. Why is that? Because maybe our Ajax here. This will call the client. Now anyway, let's view the page source. So it goes to teacher client. Okay. So we look at the show teachers, you know. There's the view button here. Dito yung view button. View record, teacher's view record. This the teacher ID. Teacher ID ba? Yes, this should be teacher ID. Okay. Teacher ID. Oh, teacher ID dito, no? Now let's look at the view record of our client JavaScript, which is here. No, this is nandito. Okay. View record. Ito yung view record. Okay. Okay. So we will pass the get URL, the title. So what's the get URL there in our show teachers view record, teachers view record. We pass the teacher ID. Okay. Okay. Let's try this. Otherwise, we'll nawala yung ating terminal. Close this first, no? Kasi tumatakbo na yung I hope it did not stop. Close ko muna. It did not stop it stopped the we were able to stop. I hope we were able to stop the web server. Otherwise, you have to use another port. Yes. Okay. If you're still wrong here, wala tayong magawa. We have to do the hard way. Okay. Teachers, you. Okay. So it complains of a status error. So it's now this is now our call, no? Ito yung ating call sa client JavaScript. Okay. So it's here in the teacher client. Okay. So ang ating get URL most probably is wrong, no? Let's find out. There's an error anyway. View teacher. Okay, we don't have a view teacher, okay? So we don't have a view teacher form. Let's look at our teacher controller. This is view record, I think, no? Ito, no? So what will view teacher? Saan ba natin kukunin yung view teacher? Dito sa view users, okay? Kopyahin natin ito. Under views. Okay. So the action here is teachers. Then this will be teacher view form. This is a partial, no? So yung teacher view form, will we get this is a user view form under partials. Teacher view form, I'm sorry, no? Teacher does okay. So we don't need an ano. These are field names, no? Pag nakaganyan. We don't need an ID here because it's already passed. Nag-pass na siya ng client side, okay? We remove the email and the comments also. Remove na lang natin. Okay. And then this will be teachers. When close is pressed, no? And then we'll copy this. Tama lang tayo matapos dito, no? Middle name. This is now middle name. Have to be careful a little, no? This is teacher middle name. Magka-error, we'll copy all over again. Okay. So you have it here, we just refresh and then we view. So we have that already. Display teacher, and if we close, yes, we go back there. No. Okay. Do we still have time? Yes. No. So we'll work out the edit. So it is wrong because obviously the client script did not work. How about the delete? So let's the edit is the hardest part. So let's do it first. No. Mag-add na tayo ng iba, no? A, B, C. So let's do the edit. Let's start with the show teachers page, no? Nandito sa show teachers page. It's where show record to edit it. So we have to go to this is the route and then the teacher ID. Okay, edit teacher. It's a title. And then for delete, this should be delete teacher. Okay. Teacher show record to edit. Okay, and we pass the teacher ID. So where's the script here in the client, ano? There's the teacher client, show record to edit. There it is. Na? Most probably we don't have the right get URL. What's the get URL that we need, that we specified? Close muna natin itong users na. Kasi show teachers, okay? The get URL is teachers. Show record to edit. Teachers that show record to edit. To trace this, we can put an alert. Dito sa teacher client, we can say alert get URL. Okay. To check if you have the right. This is show record to edit. View record, show record to delete, delete record, show record to edit. So, yeah. Dito tayo maglagay ng alert, okay? There's an existing alert. The alert is just for us to check whether we got the right. Teachers show record to edit. That's where we should go. Show record to edit. Okay. Ibig sabihin hindi niya nakita yung most probably we will also show the ID, no? To find out if we got the correct ID. It should be UID, I'm sorry, no? One, teachers show record to edit one. So there's no route. Obviously, there's no, the route was not seen. So the Ajax call did not succeed here because it did not see the route. Teachers show record to edit. So let's look at the teacher route first. Get show record to edit. Okay. Show record to edit. Is that correct? Yes. And then teacher controller show record to edit. Hindi siya mali yung ating this view record kasi. Okay. This should be show record. This is the show record during the view. This is the show record to delete. This is the show record to edit. Okay. Baka wala tayong edit teacher. Okay. Wala na tayong edit teacher na we don't have an edit teacher. Okay. View teacher, wala tayong edit teacher. We'll copy it from edit user. Okay. Hindi niya nakita yung Okay. Last teachers. As long as basta modular yung pagkagawa, the next pass is usually mechanical. Okay, mechanical na lang. User teacher edit form. Okay. And then it will call a post, no? Teacher edit form. So we'll call it from user. It's a partial, no? So if you write your own code, you make sure that you make it modular so that you will have the same logic for each CRUD, no? All CRUDs. Okay? Do you follow? ID na lang yan, no? Okay. This is teacher ID, the label. It's hidden anyway, no? And all this will be patterned from the field name. Excuse me. I'm sorry for the. Tay, ugasan din sa tubig to. I'm sorry for the disturbance. No? Teacher ID, so we'll have to copy this. Hindi kailangan yung ano no. This is so kailangan pala kasi we only need a value teacher ID. And the placeholder is teacher ID. And let's look at the anyway, we look at the client later, no? So ang alam natin dito this will be caught by the client. Kasi edit ito eh, no? First name. Last name. Client will catch this. So we'll have to review it again. Okay. For the correct field names. Okay. Let's look at the client. As I've said, the client will get this in update record. Okay. No, in okay. No, this is not the client. No, show record to edit. When the edit record is submitted, we will call this. So these are the names, you know, of the inputs. Okay, so let's look at the parcel again. Teacher edit form, the name of the teacher underscore first name, last name, middle name. So let's look at the client. It's teacher ID, first name, last name, middle name. Okay, so pareho sila. Okay. Let's make sure we have saved all. No? Save pala. Okay lang pala, no? You follow? So, in our teachers, ang problema, meron tayong view, ang edit. Show record to edit. Now it shows it there now. So we can remove the alert now. Okay, you know what's wrong, so we can remove the alert. Muna natin yung anuhin. So in its teacher client, take note, we have an alert here to make sure that. Okay, now our next problem is to check if it's saved, because to save we have to pass here to teachers update record. Do you follow? No. So it will go through the teacher route, no? Teachers update record ito. Okay. In response to the Ajax call, and it will go here, no? To the update record. Ito, no? So first name, ID, last name, middle name. Let's look at the teacher client. This is ID, first name, last name, middle name. Okay. So we'll save all. Anyway. Madali na lang yung ano, no? The delete is easy. It's like a view. Okay. Do you follow? Okay. We're done with the, the delete na lang, no? We'll do the delete now. Okay. Ang problema ang delete natin, no? Hindi pa makita. So we'll look at the delete. We'll start with the teacher client. Okay. First is we call show record to delete. Okay. So the del URL is in the, no, it's in the show teachers. When the delete button, this is the del show record to delete. Okay. So we obviously it's clear that we do not have the teacher form here, no? Because when you go to show record to delete, that's in the controller, no? Show record to delete. Ito, no? It's supposed to render delete teacher. Okay? Do you follow? Wala tayong delete teacher. Okay? But we have a delete user, so we'll just copy this, no? Views. We paste it under views. So I'm not saying that you do this, no, but exactly, but you make your code modular, okay? So that the logic, all the forms will be the same, and they will be easy to manage. They will be easy to replicate, so that you will not have a hard time doing projects like this. So user, this is now teacher delete form. Okay. This is a parcel. Okay. So we'll go to the parcels and the user delete. The user delete. No, we'll copy this. The teacher delete. Or wala tayong magawa dito, no? Dahil talagang maraming hard coding. If you're doing this in C#, we have a debugger. Okay, we'll have a debugger and then we'll have a. Bakit wala tayong ano? We don't have an ID. Why don't we have an ID? Dapat may ID eh. Because we're going to get the ID either. Bakit walang ID na? We'll find out. Anyway, we'll just continue. If it's needed, we'll put the ID na. And we'll remove the unnecessary things. Home and comments. Be careful with this, no? The deletion. You may delete an unnecessary tag. And also in the insertion, in the paste, no? Paste. You have to be careful. Field name ito, no? Dito. Okay. So the delete button now is the on click is delete record users. It will be teachers. Teacher. Iti endanger, no? Pula. Okay. Save all. It's anyway saved all na. Okay. Let's do that again. There's our no. Teachers. Ayan. Delete. Hindi siya nagtanong. So, there's something wrong with this, no? Ito. Okay na yung ano, edit natin. Okay, nag-edit na ang view. So, okay. The delete doesn't work. Dapat magtanong. Okay? So, anyway, we'll trace this again from the client. Okay? So, that's the feel of full stack development, no? We shift from client to server. Okay? Hindi niya ito nakita. Delete record. Okay? So, let's look at the partial first. The teacher delete form. On click. Delete record. Delete teacher. Teachers delete record. Okay. So, may mali rin pala yung aking user dito, no? Delete record ito. Let's look at route. Dapat delete record ito. Let's look at the teacher route. Delete record. Okay. Check that out, no? Delete record. Okay. Delete user but delete record. Mali yung route. Okay, I think we're almost done and we'll be done here, no? Teachers, delete this. Oh, it didn't ask. So, hindi rin siya nagano. By the way, it didn't. We'll put an alert in our client. Kasi hindi nag-work ito. Okay. It didn't work. Okay. Sa teacher delete form, delete record, users, delete users. User baka user dito, no? Sorry. Okay. Teacher delete form. Teachers delete record. On click, we will call delete record. So which means dapat pupunta siya dito. Okay. So how can we check this? Now we will check that if it has the right client first, no? Kahit hindi naka-render ng maayos, no? View the page. Teacher client. So dapat it should go to the delete record. Hindi siya nagano. Let's look at users first. Okay yung ating users. Okay. Ang ating teachers ang hindi. Okay. The problem is it didn't even go to this, no? This ito. This teacher ID. Okay. Hirap, no? Okay. We'll do that now. Yes, it's asking now. And it's now deleted. Okay. Okay. Any questions so far? So I have completed that in an hour because of course I wrote this myself, no? But if you study the code, see the modularity, how the modules are created, no? You should be able to, okay lang ito, no? You didn't expose the route anyway, no? You should be able to create your own CRUDS. Okay? So you can do this over the weekend and pass on Monday. Any questions? Everyone? No? So when you create projects later in the future, also plan for the future, no? Plan for whatever projects you need to do, whatever modules you need to write in other projects, other future projects. Okay? Because that's how you can gain profit, no? The faster you can finish a project, the faster you earn. Okay? Ganun yung mga freelance. Okay? And at the same time, we do not want to sacrifice quality of code because a bad code is very difficult to debug, right? So we have to plan, we have to make sure our code is structured and reusable. So if I have done teachers, there's no reason why you can do students and subjects, okay? Do you follow? Okay. Any questions?
I just clarify lang, sir.
Yes.
What you did just recently now, pwede man rin yung pag-approach mo na pag-create ng teachers, ng tawag nito, ng pang table niya.
CRUDS, okay.
Yes, applicable din siya also, no, sa subjects. Pwede din namin like parang i-reuse yung logic
Yes.
flow niya.
You can use the same logic.
Yes.
So you just have to understand the code. Dapat naintindihan mo. Although this is copy and paste, this is perfectly okay because in the first place, this is open source, di ba? And in the secondly, you cannot copy and paste if you do not understand the code. Okay? You have to understand the logic first. So there are many source codes you can download from GitHub, no? And it's a good thing that what you do is gather code, create samples, no? Like ordering, no? Whatever you need, whatever examples you can get, no? You build them together into a mock project so that when you apply for a job and you're interviewed, you have something to show. You have some proof to show that you really know Express and Node.js. Diba? Okay. Any questions? Diba, last time I showed you on Visual Studio Code, the same application, the same thing on a different platform. Okay. ASP.NET, remember, it's also becoming more popular, no? In full stack development ngayon, it's either in ASP.NET or in Node.js. Konti lang yung Django at saka, at saka Laravel. So most of the in-demand jobs require either ASP.NET or Express and Node.js. So what are the things that you need to study? You need to look at yung Passport.js for the logging in and logging out, and the sessions to be able to control session variables and the cookies. And then you need to study JS report so that you can do printout. And then, of course, you need to study React. And then after that, if you have sample codes, you can start applying for a job. Okay? And the jobs are high paying. The jobs waiting are high paying jobs. Okay? So any questions? No? So hindi lang ito sa learning, no? This is not just about getting high grades, but this is in preparation for a career, no? That maybe most of you would like to go into. Kasi sinong ayaw ng malalaking sweldo, di ba? No? We are practical, no? We are not materialistic, but it's happy to get, it's enjoyable to work on a high-paying job that you like. Okay? So ano, no?
Sir?
Yes?
Sir, tanong lang sir ba? Kanina may sinabi ka something about React being good for single page lang na ano.
Yes.
Hindi talaga siya mag-work for multiple pages, sir.
Pang
Or is it
mahirap,
just because
mahirap.
may better
It's not appropriate.
may better alternatives?
No, kasi yung React Vue and Angular are designed, you don't force them, no? They're only selected applications where you can use them. You can't use them for e-commerce like this. You cannot use them for example for an online enrollment system. Hindi pwede yun. Di ba? Only for particular applications like blogging, yung mga, di ba, may mga, sometimes you will need to create a dashboard where people chat with each other, send email with each other, send files, no? Like that, like Instagram, no? Hindi naman pwede. React is not applicable in all applications, only in particular applications, no? Do you follow? Not all applications require React, but sometimes there are applications that will require them, so you need to be ready with them.
Okay. Pero pwede ka sir magamit ng React for front-end and then haluan mo ng Node for back-end and then mag-work siya.
Hindi. Pang front-end lang talaga yung React.
Okay.
Wala siyang facility for MySQL. Walang facility for MongoDB. By the way, you need to study MongoDB, no? Walang facility. So, when you make a React project, I hope I'll get you merong YouTube niyan, no? How to create React projects with Express projects. Dalawang project na gagawin mo. Do you follow? You will have a front-end project in React. Doon gagawa ka ng user interface. Doon yung yung blogging mo. And then you will have a back-end server done in Express. Now, the server in Express will not do user interface anymore because React does the user interface. Do you follow? Ang problema
Yes,
sa React, hindi ka pwede mag-handlebars doon. You cannot do handlebars, you cannot do EJS because it supersedes handlebars. It's like an HTML in itself. Ang React, may sarili siyang HTML. And the good thing about React is, yung mga divs, pwede mong i-return to a function. For example, on the fly, you want the content of a function, to create the content of a function on the fly. You create a function to create the div. And only that particular div will be refreshed. So pang front end talaga yung React. If you want to use Express, you have to use Express as an API. Do you follow? So ang
Yes,
Express yung gagawa ng SQL. Doon mo gagawin sa Express yung SQL, yung app, update, edit, delete. Pero wala nang user interface. You will not have views anymore. Do you follow? In this,
yes, sir.
meron tayong views dito, di ba? But if you are using React, you will do the views in React. So wala nang views doon sa yung Express.
Question lang din, sir, ba? Yung sa ginamit natin, ang i-import natin was may SQL.
Yes.
May reason ba, sir, na hindi natin ginamit yung may SQL 2 na ano?
No reason. You can
Ito,
use SQL.
May later version kasi yan, sir, ng ano?
May SQL on Express.
May SQL 2, sir. Yung require may SQL 2.
Sa Express.
Yes pa, sir.
Of course, you can try it, no? Siguro mas expensive, mas extensive na yun, no? I haven't tried MySQL 2 and Express. Okay?
Okay pa, sir.
You can use any. Meron din PostgreSQL, di ba? There's also
Yes, sir.
Postgre. You can also use, instead of MySQL, you can use PostgreSQL. I doubt if there's an MS SQL server in Express. Parang wala, but I'm sure that there's Postgre and Firebase SQL, no? Sigurado supported yan sa Express. Because I've seen Express projects running on top of Postgre. It's usually extendable. Okay?
Okay pa, sir.
Okay. So I hope you start a career on this, no? Okay. This is the only manghirap pag-apply ng jobs ngayon. Okay? Work for a company and they're usually low paying, no? So online jobs are the best jobs for freelancers. Okay? Do you follow? My son has almost finished, no? Nakatrabaho, my son did media technology in IDS. He is proficient in a lot of platforms, no? Pero mahina siya sa web development. He knows of course, no? HTML and CSS. Pero sa pagdating sa SQL, but he got a job as a virtual assistant, no? First as a video editor, then as an audio editor. So maraming tech jobs then, no? And he's earning very, very well. Okay? He started at a $500 rate. So $500 is 2,500, 25,000 pesos. So ngayon he's about at $1,000. So hindi malaki na rin, di ba? Okay, that's the future of IT and CS in the Philippines, no? Because there are so many employers who would like to get English speaking, no? Proficient in English proficient developers. Ayaw nila ng mga Indians eh. Although Indians are very good, no? Mas preferred nila yung Filipinos who speak English well. So you're a candidate, no? So any questions? Okay. So March 20, no? Kaya ito eh. March 20. It's still March 3, March 10. You have 10 days to do this. You just have to understand the code, no? Maybe take 2 days, a weekend off, and then 1 day for creating them. Okay. Now, what is your next? No, I think you will have an alternate, an elective in full stack development. No, that will be the next chapter. That's where you could study the React, no, Passport.js, sessions, no. Okay. Okay. So any questions? I think I have gone through my time. I'm sorry, no. So next meeting I'll just be online, okay? If you want to consult me regarding things, I'll be online, okay? No requirement for attendance. Bye everyone.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Good luck.